Well, we're back. I don't got a whole lot going on for you today, but I figured I'd do this just to get something up. Because things this week are probably going to be a little slow. We just got done having our taste of that hurricane that blew up out of the Gulf. Obviously, I'm not going to complain because I don't. The people down on the coast in Texas, and we had nothing compared to what they just got done going through. But it's hard to tell. It started raining yesterday about 2 o'clock and didn't quit until about 3 hours ago. Yeah, longer than that. It's 6 o'clock already. It must have quit raining here about 1:30. But it's hard to tell you an exact number because I had 2.5. My boss, I haven't talked to him since about 8:30 this morning because he just told me he just said don't even bother coming in today. There's nothing. I had 2.5. Oh, that's weird. According to that gauge, Mom and Dad only had 1.25 inches. But my boss had 5.5, and that was at 8:30 this morning, and it rained more since, so he's probably pushing 6. 5.75, 6 inches. So long story short, probably not a whole lot of chance of cutting wheat this weekend. Might get some small miracle if we get decent drying weather, maybe Sunday, but we've got a chance of storms again Saturday, and it's going to take a good solid 3 days at least of drying. So yeah, I don't know when we're gonna be able to cut wheat, and then we got rain chances again early this coming week, and then it looks good after that from I think Wednesday on. So you two so aggressive. So yeah, things haven't been the last about day and a half haven't been a whole lot going on around here. But just a quick letting everybody know where we're at, and then we'll get on to the meat and potatoes of this video. Not that there's a whole lot of it. Just got done putting new tires in the front of the 1600 because when I was out pushing trees back with it a couple weeks ago, I noticed what would be this one, the tread on the front tire was wobbling. It's like, that's weird. Well, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I ran a 3/8 lag bolt into this tire when I was cleaning up a tree line, and plugged it, put a tube in it, about all you could do. The hole was pretty gnarly. I cleaned it up the best I could. Well, there was always a bulge right here, and apparently that bulge wore funny, and it started eating out the carcass of the tire to the point where you should have seen it inflated. You can still kind of see the wave in the tread, but fully inflated, this hole was so big, it just about, because that's I think like an inch and 3/4 or 2-inch plug. That hole swelled up so big, it almost had enough room that plug was pushing through, like all the way through the tire. I can't believe it sucked back in. But you can see, if I can get enough light in there for you, it's got the carcass is shredded all the way out here, and the patches. I don't know how it didn't cut the tube. I don't know how it was still holding air, but it had the tread so screwed up that the outer rib was like all the way out here, and this rib was, yeah, this tire was not long for the world. And then this one has a couple plugs in it too from thorn damage. There's that one there, there's that one there, and then this gouge that I don't know, but that plug was starting to push through, so it's like, screw it. Shitty part is they're like 95% tread tires, but there ain't no fixing that one, and it is what it is, I guess. I mean, it's not like they're brand new tires. Those things have probably been on there. Whew. Well, they were on there last time this thing went to Rantoul, and I think since then I've had the 1955 down once, and the T's been down, so that would have been at least 4 shows ago, so at least 8 years. So I mean, it's not like they're new tires. It just, there really ain't nothing wrong with them other than the fact that that one's about ready to explode. And I called yesterday to order tires, and Carlisle's, which are what I wanted, were on back order. American Farmers, like what was on it, were on back order. Firestones were on back order. I could have got Titans to the tune of $300 a tire, so I said no to that, and I ended up, he got me BKTs. These were still $199 a tire, but it's stupid that tires are, why? One, how is it in this country something as simple as a 4-rib 11L15 tractor tire, probably one of the most common front 2-wheel drive tractor tires on the face of the planet, how can so many manufacturers be on back order? And two, how can they be so, I'm gonna go off on a rant. We need to just switching subjects, because I'm just, yeah, so stupid. But anyhow, I don't like the fact that these are Indian tires. I thought that BK was a European. I thought mostly like Turkey. So I was a little disappointed to see that. But that being said, I do kind of like the way they look on the tractor. They're a lot fatter. The tread's a lot fatter. Well, the entire tire is a lot fatter than those American Farmers, where they got a lot more meat to them. The ribs are a little thicker, and I will say that these tires are heavy. It was all I could do. I mounted them tubeless because they're tubeless tires, but it was all I could do, even with tire lube on them, to get them beads over them rims, and those things just peeled off like nothing. So I mean, they're just an 8-ply tire, and I think that's what these are, was 8, or were these 6s? I think they were 8. 11L15, yep, 8-ply. But I mean, you compare these things to those things, it's like these are an 8-ply and those are a 10-ply. And so they're good heavy tires. The stupid thing about them is, I looked all over both sidewalls. There is no max inflation rating on them things anywhere. The only inflation is, it gives you 35 psi maximum to seat beads. So I put 35 in them. I don't know if I can run them up to 40 since they're on the loader or not, but I just left them at 35 for now. So there's that, and then we'll go down and see the other thing that I got done since the last time we saw you. So this is my new self-propelled sprayer that I just bought. Not really, but anyhow, I wanted to set for going back and cleaning up skips or little corners or whatever the case may be. In this case, for cleaning up spots where I was having nozzle issues with my big sprayer. So I bought a spray boom. I already had the sprayer. Shelly had that. It was brand new in the box, so we set it up on this for doing stuff around the yard. But so I bought a spray boom to go with it, and it worked okay, but it came with really cheap, shitty, off-brand deflector fan nozzles, which are basically the ones that point straight back, and they got a hole in them with a scallop, and the product comes out of the orifice, hits the back of the nozzle, and it shoots it down in a fan. And those things are about as accurate as a piston stream out of a garden hose, and I didn't like them. I sprayed about 20 gallons worth with it like that. I sprayed my wet holes down here in front of Grandma and Grandpa's, where I put those beans in. That way I didn't have to drag my big sprayer down there and try to maneuver. And I sprayed my skips back here. I got a couple other small spots I want to clean up. But anyway, I did not like the nozzles that were on it. And so I, today, while it was raining and I didn't have anything better to do, I was able to reuse like 90% of the stuff that came in the boom kit, which was basically the boom, the brackets, and the valve and pressure regulator and stuff was all part of the boom kit. But got rid of the shitty spray tips and stuff that they sent and converted it over to T-Jet quick jet tips, flat fans, so they're a normal name brand. Can go out and just buy new parts for it right off from anywhere. And I went out and sprayed just a quick round with it just to test it, and I like it a lot better. It gets a lot better coverage with the 3 tips instead of the 2, and so that was the other thing I got done since the last time we saw you. I don't think there's anything else down here we needed to bring anybody up to speed on. Okay, so there's all that. Oh, and the U-bolt showed up to finish making sure all the wheels in the 4150 won't fall off anymore. So I got to get that done here at some point. But anyhow, in the spirit of moving towards getting ready for wheat, since I got this out, I got to throw the bucket on it. We're going to run over to my house, and I want to clean all the loose straw out of the loft so that that's clean and ready to be filled back up. So that's what we're working towards here. It's a good year. Alright, I brought these along so I can throw them on with the rest of my tire pile that I got to get rid of here at some point. It's amazing how fast tires can accumulate. It's mind-blowing. I got more used tires than I don't know what. That whole room's full of them. So anyhow, oh, the other things that I got done since we've seen you last is took the sprayer pump and tore it apart and inspected that to make sure everything was kosher inside, which there was nothing wrong with it at all. I put all new spray tips on the sprayer. Probably should have done that at the beginning of the season, but it's one of them things I've been saying for like the last 2 years I've been gonna do it. And you forget about it till it's time to start spraying, and it's like, oh, well, I guess we'll milk it for another season. But this time I actually did it. And yesterday I pulled the oil sample for the 1950T, and that got sent in today. So hopefully it's got to go all the way to the lab I sent it to is all the way in Georgia, so I probably won't be seeing results from that till next week, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. So we need this guy. And this guy. I will say, I do those tires didn't really take long to grow on me. Those are some I don't like that they're Indian tires. I wish I could buy an American-made freaking farm tire, but they do look good. Of course, I tried to buy an American-made farm tire. They're all on back order. I don't know why, just driving, I mean, I've had more weight in there than, I mean, I've had the hay baler parked in here before. It just, something about bringing, I don't know, it sketches me out a little bit. Guess I should have backed up some so I could at least get to the ladder. I'm gonna need both hands to make this climb. Okay, so, well, I can't see because I really need to get, I don't really want to put lights here and there because if this is full of straw, you don't really want a light there, and if that's full of hay, but if I can get one like right in the center, that would help a lot. But anyhow, this is what's left. There's probably, I don't know if there's full 200 here or not. Because of the light winter we had, I didn't really move any straw this winter. And then once April came around, it really started moving, but that's garden season, and I got rid of 20 bales this week for somebody doing a yard. But like I say, with these light winters we've been having, but I want to get all this loose straw out of here. Clean me off the spot to sit. Shim shingle. Must have been patching a hole somewhere. Really need to get through straw. I really want to get through wheat, and then I'm going to try to take a weekend and go up north because it'd just be nice to get out of here for a while. We'll see how that goes. I'd like to go up to Baldwin at least. I don't know, it'd be nice to squeak 3 days out of it somewhere. When all the dust clears, I really want to get to working on that loft. And we really got to get to working on that chicken coop if that's going to get done before harvest gets here. Because as scary as it is to think, I mean, it ain't going to be long here. July's going to be burned up. June just kind of went poof. It's like it never even existed. And we're only 8 weeks away from our fair, which, I mean, 8 weeks sounds like a lot, but you start getting into projects, and it ain't going to be long, and we're going to be wanting to think about getting combines out and going through those. The 7300 really shouldn't need a whole lot. I'd like to fix or get the replate the unload auger, which I think I've got flighting for out of that batch of stuff I got from Ziegler's. The 8700 needs some belts replaced that I noticed at the tail end of last year. Some were getting some cracks in them, some decent sized cracks, and there's some work that needs done on the rotary screen on that. I'd like to put new gathering chains on the corn head, but I don't know if I want to go spending the money, because I like that grain drill that we talked about a couple of videos ago, whenever it was. I was all hot to trot. I was at least going to call on it this week and which I probably still should at least call on it and just ask some questions about it. But Monday, when the markets closed and corn took an absolute nosedive, that really kind of, I don't want to spend, I'm trying to not spend a bunch of money this year that I don't need to spend, and I don't want to, I don't know, it's really hard to get excited about spending money on much for the way things are looking this year, and God forbid something bad happens with the election. It's just, there's too many unknowns. If somebody had a crystal ball and could look forward to December and tell me everything's going to be all right, I wouldn't mind spending money so much. But right now, I just cannot talk myself into it. I'm not really, well, I'm not buried in debt. I made sure to, I've always used the philosophy that if I can't afford it in cash, I don't need it. So the only thing I owe money on right now is the house, and I'd like to keep it that way. I don't want to have to borrow money for anything. Not that I'd have to borrow money for that drill or anything. It just, I don't know. It's too much. It's too uncertain. It's hard to explain. Of course, you've got the camp of people that'll tell you that debt's good. I don't know where they came up with that, but there are people that believe it. I think we can go ahead and call that a load. I have to throw the scoop shovel up here too. And might restack some of this. So I want to try to get the old stuff kind of up there. Put the new stuff back here so that when we start moving more straw, that side will go first. guess is a better word for it. Bunch of dirt in the corner of this thing that won't let go. Oh, don't be dramatic. There you go. Okay, we can see floor again. And I'm going to take some of these and stack them back, or move them, restack them towards the front of the barn. Alright, that basically gets the back half of the loft cleared off. So, sell the front half first when things start moving this go around, and the new stuff back here will go last. Whew. It ain't that hot outside, but man, is it hot in here. Whew. that should get us ready for straw. Baler's pretty much ready. I just got to replace a couple pickup tines. I broke a pickup tine on it when I was doing hay, which, I mean, you can't knock them too much. They're all 1961 pickup tines, unless they've all got green paint on them yet, I'll put it that way. And luckily Maybaugh actually has the correct pickup tines remade for them, so you can still get brand new pickup tines. They'll fit the 60, the 62, the 526, 27, 20. I would assume they fit the 50, but I can't swear it because I honestly don't know if I've ever seen a Model 50 baler in person. I've only ever seen pictures of them. I'm not going to say, I mean, they're out there. The ones you find around here are all that style, that body style, are all 60s and 62s. And then obviously there's a fair number of 20 series around here, but you don't really, I've never seen a 50 around here. Anyway, so I got to do that. And then the baler will be ready. My bearings for the 525 will hopefully be here tomorrow. They had a snafu. Emily called me Monday, and the bearings that she ordered had come in, and it's the same thing that happened because I changed those bearings on the 7300 2 years ago, something like that. And the same thing happened here that happened last time. 2 bearings, 2 boxes, same exact part numbers, but different lot numbers. Bearings are different. ID OD is identical, the thickness is different. So she had to order another one to get 2 that are correct. So, and I didn't get a phone call today saying that the one that showed up wasn't correct, so I would assume that they'd be on the way. So, but anyhow, so then the 525 will be ready, and then at that point we're waiting on the weather. So what we do from here is entirely dependent on how quick things dry down and how much more rain we get. Because I still need to get the U-bolts done on the 4150, and then I need to run that down and run it across the scale to get it weighed, and then the duals can go back on it. I still need to get the applicator it's washed. I just need to get it flushed out and get antifreeze in it so that that's good to go, and then it can come over here and get parked. One day this week, now that things are slowed down, I really need to go talk to the guy about that dryer shed and see if it's something he wants to sell. Otherwise we gotta explore different options as far as getting a roof to get these wagons and stuff in. So yeah, if we can't do anything this weekend, might possibly start on the chicken coop, because I've got all the material for the roof in there. I got that before I started planting. We had a rainy weekend, so I went and got all the material I needed to put a roof on it, but then roof needs on it, and then I still got to make doors, I still got to make windows, we got to get a fence situation figured out. I'd like to find some old nesting boxes to put in there. Some good, like, galvanized, like, good old nesting boxes to put in there. But anyhow, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. So anyhow, with that being said, I think we got all the bases covered that I needed to cover in this video. Sorry it wasn't much, but this is what we got going on. So with that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.